Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode of Shift Talking. What do we have on the agenda today?
Yeah, what do we have on the agenda today?
Ferrari.
Ferraris.
It's
Some
a me.
Italian, huh?
It's a Ferrari.
So I found this article about there's been a lot of articles coming out about this car specifically. It is their new, I think it's a S90, although don't quote me on that because I didn't actually read the article.
SF90.
Yeah,
SF90, so I was off by one letter. It is a twin-turbo V8 plug-in hybrid, clocking in at a little bit under 1,000 horsepower. How crazy is that?
That's fucking amazing.
0 to 62 in 2.5 seconds.
62?
62?
62.
The
Not 60.
fuck?
In 2.5
does
seconds?
that?
2.5 seconds.
Oh, wow.
That's weird.
No, that,
I mean, why did they do 0 to 62 rather than 0 to 60?
Because 62 is higher than 60.
And they probably couldn't. They couldn't put like.
Maybe they wanted to make it an
2.4371.
even number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They couldn't get to 60. It doesn't do 60.
Because it goes straight to 62.
So what's the biggest thing about this? Why did you want to bring it up? Not just because it's a Ferrari, right?
No,
Didn't you have-
actually, so I actually didn't really want to talk about the car at all beyond that, believe it or not. I wanted to talk about the car because we know that things from supercars kind of trickle down, make their way down into regular mainstream affordable consumer cars. For example, 8-speed automatic transmissions now are 10-speed automatic transmissions. We're starting to see certain cars come with double clutch transmissions that were parts that those higher end cars, it was essentially exclusive to those higher end cars, and now have trickled down. So right now we're going through this interesting thing with emissions that are forcing manufacturers to find ways to without creating a lot of a big carbon footprint, but still perform really well. And I wanted to ask, would you guys be okay owning a hybrid V8?
So we talked about this in another episode, I think previously, when we were talking about the Mustang going hybrid. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying it's gonna happen no matter what, whether we like it or not. And just like the Tesla performs, and it's a sleeper. It's gonna keep happening with all the other cars, whether we like it or not. But I think it's cool. I think it's cool to see the technology change, man. And when you think about it, like a plug-in, almost 1,000 horsepower car, that's freaking crazy.
Well, that's the part that blew my mind, because for a second there I was like, holy crap, like just imagine a Prius, right? So that's a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
But imagine cars with that technology that we make fun of as car enthusiasts now being able to actually be taken seriously by the car enthusiasts. Granted, it's not the first hybrid supercar.
Yeah.
We have the LaFerrari is a hybrid, the Porsche 918 is a hybrid. I think the P1 is also a hybrid.
Yeah, the McLaren is.
Yeah, but it's just kind of interesting how now it's starting to again
Expand.
Yeah, expand. Now we're starting to see it trickle down to a smaller model in the Ferrari, because this is not a LaFerrari. This is not a replacement for the LaFerrari. It is, I think, essentially what is a 458 kind of replacement. Not I guess 458, 488. What comes next? I think that's what it's kind of in that territory. So that's one step down, and then I'm pretty sure we're going to start to see Lamborghini start to follow, Porsche start to follow. I think
What the big thing is, and what we really didn't see, but in hindsight, it's about horsepower.
Yeah.
So in order for them to achieve the higher horsepower numbers, instead of it being stagnant where it kind of is now, they're using hybrid to boost up the horsepower versus all motor, because obviously they probably won't pass emissions if they go with just all motor. So now they're just doing hybrids because they're realizing that the batteries are getting better for these electric cars, and they're able to get a lot of horsepower out of them with minimal use. Well, I mean, you're probably looking at 80% motor, 20% hybrid, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're doing that to push the horsepower numbers. This Ferrari is almost 1,000 horsepower. And it's just like the Koenigsegg. The Koenigsegg is it's all motor. It's not a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they pushed it to the limits where they're making emissions. But I think that's what it is. The horsepower numbers. I mean, with the V8s, like with our cars, our realm, where we are at now, as far as like the Hellcats and the Demons and everything, you know, you're still at the 900, 800 range.
Yeah, maxed
but
out.
eventually that's going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. That's why
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up, because we know that the future isn't looking too good for big V8 American cars, and that's probably why Dodge is doing whatever they feel like doing right now, because I think they know too that
They
their
wanna get it
time
out.
doing that stuff is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Because with emissions getting stricter, you know, and EPA and all these other organizations that care about the world, you're not saying we don't care about the world, but we also like to have fun. But with all these organizations coming in, you know, it's just kind of like, well, how do you get around that and still get to have fun, or still be a car enthusiast, or still get all these performance numbers and higher end functionality out of a performance car?
And this might come into play with, you know, like what Max was saying earlier with Mustang, you know.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have a hybrid Mustang.
They
Very
teased an
soon.
electric one.
Yeah. So, and you never know, you know, but, you know, I think I kind of touched on it before, maybe in private, but, you know, like that truck, that electric truck.
The
Ford's
Rivian?
Yes, the Rivian. So that's on a Ford platform that they've been testing all the batteries on the chassis. Let me say chassis, because they didn't, you know, instead of them going through and doing all the research and spending all the money on the chassis, they just used the F-150 chassis. So all the electronics and batteries and everything is going on the F-150 chassis, and that's going to be the new truck, you know. So once they hit the truck market and everybody starts driving, that's a big market.
Yeah.
So, you know.
What do you think, Marley?
I think we need to die first. And so this is I know that's a weird way of starting out that, but this particular generation grew up with this, and Gen Z is getting a little bit older.
I thought it was Gen X.
No, Gen X is you.
Oh, okay.
It's Gen X and the millennials and then Gen Z, which the oldest Gen Z I think is like 16 now. So I understand why they're starting to slowly roll that out, because Americans, especially here in America, Americans love cars. That's why we have probably the most amount of highways. We don't have that many trains compared to Europe and Asia. So we love cars. So the whole electric hybrid thing and forcing people to kind of move towards it. I know I'm kind of going off track on this, but like, I don't think we're going to see a full-blown electric vehicles and like in our generation. I think when we're a little bit older, yeah, but
I think we're gonna see it. We're even I will probably see it. You know what? The other thing is too. I mean, we talk about us. You know, you guys are, you know, a little bit younger than me, just a little bit.
A lot.
A little bit.
A lot.
And I think that it's pretty good news, because the you know, that generation. What's the 16-year-old
Gen Z.
Gen Z. They're a bunch of. So, you know, they need these cars.
they did need type
They
on,
need these
so.
cars to drive themselves. They need these cars to like do as much as possible, because they can't think for themselves. And it's just the way the technology is in the world. It's not just the cars, it's everything else. I mean, we have technology do almost everything for us, instead of us doing for ourselves. Us humans as a society are getting really lazy. You know, you have Alexa, you have all these other things that turn on your lights. You can't even turn on your lights no more in your house. I don't even use a key for my house anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, don't.
You know, and we don't just like keyless entry. You don't even, you know, to start your vehicle, you don't need
to
to
get into
unlock. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to push no buttons. Just walk up to your vehicle, open the door, and pretty soon someone's going to come out with the car that the door is actually going to pop open for you really soon. So, or
the
it
Tesla
might
already
I
does
was
it.
gonna say the Tesla does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So the
It's
higher end
it's
Tesla
their,
models.
It's their top
Damn
of the
it.
line. Their
I
top
was
of the
coming
line.
with something new.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be sad. I hate to say it. Like, it's really cool to see that like we're gonna be saving the planet and have all these crazy horsepower cars, but you're not gonna hear them.
Well,
Yeah, but I think-
well, the thing is with the Ferrari. Okay, so this Ferrari that's coming out, it's just like any exotic. Okay, that's for a select few people to purchase. Okay, this is a different game. They're out there, you know, they're stretching the limits with, you know, the horsepower. They just keep on going and going, and no telling how far they can go with how fast these cars can go.
Yeah.
But they're really expensive. This Ferrari looks pretty damn awesome. You know, I mean, they look good, right? But, you know, we're gonna get bits and pieces trickling down to the normal folk, you know, that can buy, you know, now
Us
your
peasants.
norm is 50,000 to 50 to 80,000.
Shit, to who?
Well,
Still buying fucking $3,000 Honda Civics over here.
you need to get
I know,
another job,
man.
Max.
For real, man.
Yeah, so that's how it is, and it's going to trickle down, and you know, that we're going to get bits and pieces of the technology, you know, slapped in the car, slapped in the truck, you know, and that's just the way it is.
But now going back to the original question though, would you guys be okay with driving a V8 hybrid car?
I think I'm a little more excited because it brings a whole new different level to performance as far as what you can do, what you can learn. Now it's a little more not just your basic bolt-ons, headers, you know, intake and all that stuff. It may be some electrical stuff that you can upgrade, or, you know, in the future we don't know what it's going to be. It could be, you know, bigger battery pack. It could be a freaking,
it's kind of a transitional sort of thing.
And
I can't.
the culture's never going to stop. I'll tell you that.
For
they
sure.
can go. They can go to straight electric cars, and you're still gonna have people that are into cars.
Yeah, I've already seen
Oh,
two bag
yeah.
Teslas.
I saw
Yeah,
a
yeah, me
wide
too.
body Tesla.
So yeah, I saw that one too on the internet the other day. So it's like, I think it's gonna be interesting. I don't think it's gonna be like the car community is gonna end. I think it's gonna adapt, and it's gonna grow probably even bigger. In my opinion, it has no choice.
It has to.
Yeah, it has no choice. But I'm actually excited to see that. Think about it. What if they have an optional? He has his 350. What if they have an optional battery pack for it to give you, instead of a turbocharger or a supercharger, to give you an optional battery pack that's gonna give you 200 horsepower? Like, you don't know what it can do.
We're gonna go back. There's a movie for all you young folks out there. Watch Mad Max. You know, where people are fighting for gas, and people are fighting. You know, you have regular motors and you have electric cars. You know, so it's gonna get to that point where, like, for me to answer your question, you know, as far as me driving something like that, would I be okay? I don't think so. I mean, I've already touched on maybe possibly buying a Tesla at one point, but there's still a lot of things wrong with it that, you know, I said, nah, maybe I'll veer away from it for now. I just, there's just certain things about vehicles with me. I don't think I would go to that point where I would have a hybrid, but you never know. If I win the lotto and, you know, become a multimillionaire, maybe I would buy that Ferrari, you know? So it would be a different experience. So to answer that question, I don't know if I could answer it truthfully, because I don't know the type of experience I would have inside that car. You know, so it might be a good experience, it might be bad, but, you know, I can't say no, but, you know, I can say no now because my pocket says no. But, you know, if I did have the opportunity, maybe I would have that car.
Okay.
You know,
Marley, what about you? What if, well, let me ask you this. What if the Camaro, or rather the Corvette, came out and it was like a twin turbo V8 hybrid, plug-in hybrid? Is that something that would interest you?
I mean, it's a Camaro, so yes.
Corvette.
But the one other really important aspect that I feel like all of us are forgetting, and I understand that it's
answer
a hybrid,
the question.
but it's a hybrid, and then that's going to turn into electric, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not excited about it because where the hell am I going to plug that in?
Your house.
Your house.
I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment, which
Okay.
most of us do. A lot of us live in apartments.
Then you're not getting a Corvette. Sorry.
No, that's
That
what I'm
easy.
saying. I don't feel like people understand the economic impact going this route truly has. And I'm not a person that's like, oh, I don't want the world to be safe
Debbie
and all
Downer.
that extra stuff. I'm not a
Hang on.
Debbie Downer. It's just
Debbie Downer.
it's
Hang
an
on.
economic impact that I don't feel like people truly understand going that route.
I would agree with you if it was fully electric.
Yeah,
We're
no,
talking about a hybrid
100%.
car, so it's still going to run on fuel.
So then why even make a hybrid car if it's
for
still going to run on
efficiency,
fuel?
For
no,
efficiency and-
Max actually brought up an interesting point that I didn't think of myself. Is what if instead of supercharging your car or getting a turbocharger, you get the option to add a battery that's going to give you 200
Okay,
extra
then where are you
horsepower?
going to plug the battery in?
I'm sure they'll have stations at some point or another.
Yeah,
They're
but then you
gonna
have
treat
to
it
go
like
to a
gas
station.
station,
Let's
and
put this in
especially
there.
somebody who lives in a rural place. They don't have places to go plug
They're probably
that
not
stuff
buying
in.
those kinds of cars.
So
That's
the other
my point.
so the other thing too, Marley, is okay. So say you buy this Corvette, right? And it's a hybrid, right? And you spend a lot of money on gas because you're still going to spend some money on gas.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the point?
No, well, I'm going to give you that point. I'm giving you another option.
Okay.
Okay. So you run out of gas. You're on. You got maybe 10 miles worth of gas, but now your battery is giving you 15 more minutes at 85 miles an hour of driving. So that's another option too.
I don't see a point in that though. Like even if I had gas in a reservoir tank, there's 30 extra miles. Do you see what I mean? Like what the hell is the point? Because they're trying to baby step into electric. That's all it is.
That's all
We're
it
not
is.
ready for full electric, so they're trying to baby step us into electric.
But I mean, you're also talking about a technology that's been around for almost maybe 2 decades now.
Yeah,
The Prius
no.
has been around for a long time.
For sure. And
You
I
know.
don't drive a Prius.
No, but there are
There
a
are-
lot of them out there.
There's a lot of people that live in cities that have Priuses,
Yes.
but elsewhere there's no Priuses.
No.
Promise you. That's
No,
why I'm
no,
just kind
I
of like,
get that.
I feel like this is the wrong thing to focus on, and that emissions needs to back the hell off, like a lot, because it is stifling technology. It truly is, because I feel like you could make a combustion engine better. We don't have to. Oh, we got to go electric, and they're trying to hide behind this bullshit of it needs to be better for the environment, when creating those batteries hurts the environment more than you just driving your combustion engine for 5 years. So that's kind of my thought process on it. Plus, I want to hear a fucking V8 roar, okay? I don't want to hear
Yeah.
no
So
electric
that goes back to the
Prius.
original question. Would you drive a hybrid Corvette?
If I was forced, which I live in California,
So you might be.
So
I
you-
might be.
But if you're forced, so your opinion,
You would.
would you drive it?
I
or not?
wouldn't want to. I
Okay.
would want to stick with combustion.
You would be 100% full combustion.
If I could stick with it, and I could move to Texas and just live and go as fast as I want to, I would stick with combustion.
Well, I don't think that's the question, because if you were telling me if I would want an electric car or all motor car, I would want one, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I've answered the question. The hybrid electric, I'm not a fan of. I'm
Yeah.
just it's
Now you answered the question.
This Ferrari is a Prius. It's a Prius. That's all it is. It's a Prius.
But I think also that's something we're doing to ourselves, because every new car we want that has more power. Think about the Shelby, the new GT500. If it didn't come with
if
high
I wanted,
horsepower numbers, are you gonna buy it?
No.
You're not, right? So at one point, it's gonna get to the point where, in order for it to have better numbers, we're gonna need to figure out another way to get more power. So we're doing this to ourselves.
NASCAR.
Well, you made a good point.
NASCAR.
The only reason why I'd be considering buying the 500, not because it looks better, not because it drives better or whatever, it's just because it has a supercharger.
Yeah.
NASCAR
But if it had an
has
electric battery on it that made
numbers.
it really fast, I'd probably but still want to buy it.
Exactly.
NASCAR has numbers on combustion engines that are out of this world. So they can't tell me that we're limited at combustion.
But are they?
That's not. We're not limited. They have horsepower numbers that are not street legal. So that's the other factor you have to think into it. At some point, these cars are not going to be street legal. When is that coming in? So that's why I'm saying let go. Emissions needs to chill the fuck out, rather than we got to make it hybrid. We got to make it electric.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
But here's the thing. You're saying emissions needs to chill out. But
Yeah.
emissions is the majority. Unfortunately, we are, as car enthusiasts, we are the new minority. So we're not going to be able to outnumber those
we
people.
live in a country where minorities have rights too.
Yes. Unfortunately, not our kind.
Yeah.
Okay? So now let's flip it. Let's put this let's
They're hobbyists.
let's make it so that you're actually forced in this situation. This is your situation.
Okay.
You can't rebuttal. You can't talk about, oh, emissions needs to back off. You have to make a choice.
Okay, I can
And
make
if your
a
choice
choice.
is either a Prius or hybrid V8 Corvette, what are you gonna do?
Well, this hybrid V8 Corvette is
No
a
questions,
Prius.
yes or no?
Well, that's not fair, because then I'm hopefully I'd be dead at that point. I'm just
You're not
saying.
going to. Here's the thing.
If I didn't have a choice,
Just
I'd
let it
have
happen.
to buy it.
It's
Yeah.
gonna
That's what
happen.
I'm saying.
It's
If
gonna
I have a
happen.
choice, if I don't have a choice, then why are you asking me? If I don't have a choice, why are you asking
Because
me?
you might not have a choice to stick to full combustion, but you have a choice between what car you want to drive.
Well, I can't afford either at this point right now.
It's not right now. It's not right now, but just imagine if the situation.
Of course, everyone wants a Ferrari. Okay, if that's what you're asking me, do I want a Prius or Ferrari?
Corvette.
I'm gonna go with the Ferrari. Okay, I answered the question. I picked the Ferrari.
All right, that's it. That's good.
It's a little touchy.
Yeah.
It's a little touchy
Yeah,
in
huh?
Ghost Driven Garage. A little touchy.